And look at that. We are 1 minute. We are 1 minute late. Man, you know, these technical things just grab you, right? I mean, if it isn't just waiting that last minute, it's something happens in the last minute to just completely destroy the whole fabric of the universe. So
Oh, and on top of that, I hurt all over. I've got to start training. I represent my community at a geriatric athletic competition in the fall, and I have to start training for that now. And I'm in mixed martial arts, so you can imagine. Oh, every muscle in my body's killing me.
uh,
Oh, I should have
uh,
stayed in shape and not let myself get out of shape.
now
Yeah.
I thought what you were going to say, Atta, was that you were sore and stuff because last night you were out with your telescope, bending and having to,
Oh, I can handle bending and
do
carrying
it
the
all.
scope. I can do that.
Okay, all
I
right,
can get up and get down and lay on the ground. I can still do all that stuff. I just
good.
can't align it.
Well, but once you did alignment, what stars did you use?
I didn't write it down.
Remember? Oh, okay,
So,
because it was the auto align, right? So I mean,
yeah,
you
yeah,
don't.
that's it. It was getting so late, and I was getting so tired.
I
The once
got you.
I got things
Right.
figured out, I just used the auto alignment.
What I've never used the auto align. I've always done the 2-star align. Wha- uh, what is the auto align? I don't even really know what that is.
Well, it's just the whole thing is computerized. You don't. It looks for the once you feed in your position and the time, it looks for stars and keys in on three of them. At least, yeah, 1, 2, 3. Does 3 stars. Then you have to, depending on how your auto alignment device is set up, you have to tell it where the device is relative to the view of the scope so that it corrects for that difference in position.
Right.
And you do that one time. You don't have to do that every time you go out, but it's all just automatic. You don't even know what stars you're aligned on. You don't know any of that stuff. You just
Right.
know that if you punch the button and say, go to so and so, it'll get there.
Right. Yeah.
If you have been very careful about setting it up, one thing you got to watch it with that auto alignment stuff.
The auto align.
The auto align, yeah, tell me about it. I forgot how to align my scope. It's been so long since I've been out, Carolina. Where were you when I needed you here up here in PA? But you don't even know the stars that it's aligned with. You just know that if you want to go somewhere and you have calibrated it properly so
Right.
that the center of your scope is the center of a star you pick. I mean, you do have to pick some stars. So you pick the brightest one out there and then center it at fairly is about the highest magnification you can. You
Yep.
find it with low mag and then you center it on a higher mag. Then push a button and away you go. I mean, it's not a way to learn the sky. I'll tell you, you were right when you told me not to use that go to function. I
Yeah.
hate to admit it, but
Just don't. Um, I would say just don't rely on it.
yeah, well, I
Because
didn't have much
otherwise,
choice.
well, yeah, well, um, with the auto align, um, uh, what it's really, really great at, of course, is for tracking, right? So I mean,
Oh yeah,
yeah, you
it,
have to do an alignment
I mean, it's great
anyway,
for that. Yeah,
right?
it's great for that.
Yeah, right. But what I'm saying is just, I mean, I think the go-to is absolutely fantastic too. And isn't it, I mean, it's really amazing that you can go from latitude longitude, probably altitude, and date and time. Okay, those values you can plug into this grinder,
and you get there.
and what it comes out with is your sky, and it's pretty amazing.
I do too. Do you see what, Uncle Bill? I do too. I do. I do.
Oh, she's gonna go show you.
I do have
Hey
it.
there, Andy.
Are you talking? Here we go.
Oh my gosh. So of course she's got the huge deluxe version there.
Oh, nothing but the best, man. Nothing.
Yeah, and those work really, really well. You know, they're usually calibrated for like 40 degrees north.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, yeah. So it's not, your horizon isn't going to be exactly the same as it is when you look at that, but it's so darn close. It just doesn't matter.
Jeez.
So there you go, Uncle Bill.
Yeah, Uncle Bill.
I wasn't going to do that. I was going to let you do that. All right. Yes. So Andy, hey. All right. Uncle Bill says you get pro stars now.
Yeah, this is really nice, this one. So it's kind of big, but it's nice.
Yeah. So you did an alignment.
Yeah.
Did you look at anything?
Not really. It got so late. I spent all my time working on equipment, testing out my new filters, and I tested out that light pollution filter I've got, because I was doing this in the parking lot of where I live.
Right.
Got a lot of light there, Well, not a lot of light, but the good news is the lights in my parking lot are directed down on the parking lot. They're not these lights that, illuminate the entire sky.
Right.
Thank God. And I was doing that, but basically I was messing around with equipment, which for me is something I have to do. Before I can do some serious sky work, I just have to get better at using my equipment.
Yeah.
And that's just going to take some time, and it really frosts me.
That's it. It's just a learning curve. And,
I think I have a little planisphere too. Where is that?
And
oh dear.
It doesn't help that there just aren't a lot of clear skies either. So
no, my area is kind of crummy. I have a little planisphere too.
Oh,
a little bit.
There you go.
Little bitty one. So we have everything here.
Yeah. For both hands.
I can't use it, but I have it. I am so pathetic, I'll tell you.
Oh, you don't know how to use those?
Oh, of course I know how to use a plane.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah, I know how to use that.
Thank you. Man, you're making me nervous.
Oh, yeah. This was my first attempt. It came with some... Oh, I know. This came with... When I first got into astronomy, I got one of these courses I ordered, these DVD courses. It was called The Night Sky. They had a course there. It was a little out of date on astronomy, but it turned out it wasn't the kind of astronomy course I wanted. It was more an astrophysics course taught by a guy on some West Coast school named Filippenko. He's an astronomer. I mean, and educator, but that really wasn't what I wanted. But this program on the night sky was great. It talked about different types of lenses you should buy and not buy, and different types of telescopes, what they did. I mean, it was perfect for a beginner. This little planisphere came with it. This was my first introduction to a planisphere. Right. It's amazing how much information is on one of these things.
Oh, yeah.
and how useful they are. I mean, this is the slide rule of the heavens. This is great.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing, and it's so simple too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I should look up who invented that.
Yeah, I don't know. I hope that they are reaping their rewards.
So do I.
Because that's yeah.
I hope they patented it, because if they didn't, they're out of luck. Yeah, Carolina, you're right. Unfortunately, I do have some other things that I do besides astronomy. So, I mean, I teach kids, and I have some other things I do in the evenings. And sometimes I do publicity work for our local observatory. So occasionally when we get a nice night, I'm just not able to go out in it because I have something else to do. But we have had, since I started astronomy last June, I can count the really good viewing nights that I've had on maybe two hands.
Yeah.
And that's in a year.
Yeah.
And those are really good viewing nights, and I couldn't be present for all of them. And thank you, Chuck. See the shirt, man? Yeah. Here we go. Live long and prosper. Nice message, I think.
It's a pretty good one. It's a pretty good one.
Yeah, I think so too.
I definitely agree with it. And, both of those things are possible. Easy. We just need to, decide to do it. And,
yes, I'm living proof it's possible.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm still alive. Not much longer, but here we go. We'll do what we can here.
Well, when your number is called, you'll go. I
certainly will.
Yeah.
And if I have another night like that last night, I'll be happy to go there.
Well, yeah, I'm feeling a little not really, really bad because I've actually got clear skies. I've had clear skies for a few nights now, but it's been really windy here.
Yeah, I think it does get windy in the desert.
Well, it usually blows in the afternoons, and then it sort of dies off when the sun sets. But we've had a little bit of a stormy thing here, so things are a little unsettled. Page Master, hey, nice to see you in the chat. I didn't say hi to Chuck. Hey, Chuck, nice to see you there too.
Carolina's a grandpa? A grandpa?
There you go.
My God. In your picture, I thought, is that a young picture of you on your little, thing, your picture? Jeez.
Avatar.
I thought you were about 35. Well, you stay in pretty good shape for a grandpa, Carolina.
There you go.
Well, you're still a baby by my standards, but still, you're in good shape for 52. Most people at 52 are shot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Astro Live. Hey, I already subscribed to Astro's channel.
Yep,
Carolina, of course.
I do too. Yep, for sure.
That's
Astro Live channel. Hey.
I thought you worked out, Carolina. Nobody fills a t-shirt out like that naturally. You definitely work out. Good for you.
So Astro Live channel, I haven't really been able to watch all that much, but it looks like you've been doing some live streams, unboxing a 8-inch Rasa. Is that what they're called? So yeah, that's pretty exciting, and hope it's all in one piece and working well and everything else. Hope we get some clear skies. I think he's up in he's in the Denver area, so he and I sort of we sort of share the same weather, kind of sort of. So yeah, I mean, if it's clear here, it might be clear up there. I'm not quite sure. I think it snowed up there the other day when the storm blew through. Okay, so Astro Live channel is Dave, and I guess that's another channel. Oh, okay. Yeah. There's a lot. Is Dave's Astronomy Live? Oh, I don't know. Can't keep track of all of us, which is nice. Which is nice. Okay, well, anyway, howdy Astro Live channel. Nice to see you in the chat. Okay, all right. Yeah, I confuse all of those. I like it. All right, so I've got the coffee here, a little bit of coffee left. So cheers to that. Atta has the
Spock cup.
The Spock mug.
I'm never without it. I never look at that bell jar that I don't think of. What was his name? Patrick Manny's comment that said it looked like turpentine.
Turpentine.
Paint thinner. That was it.
Paint thinner, turpentine, something like that.
Paint thinner.
Yeah. Well, you know, I'll never tell, but you know, I think I'm pretty honest about those kinds of things. If there was turpentine in here, I might be bragging about the fact, you know, that I'm going to take a big gulp of it, right? So, yeah, I'm not exactly bragging about this because it's just the greatest in the world. So, Captain Picard's favorite tea.
Yeah, PM is quite a Trekkie. He knows a lot more about it than I do.
Picard's favorite tea? You don't know Picard's favorite tea?
No, I actually don't. I don't know that. I'm more of an original series, you know, type person as far as detail goes. But I don't know the name of his favorite tea. I don't.
Earl Grey hot.
Earl Grey hot. Okay, I'll remember that.
Earl Grey hot. I think that's right. Is that right? Yes.
Earl Grey hot. Yeah, yep. PM's coming back. Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, you know, my favorite above all is the original series by far. That was just so far out there.
It was so creative. And the stories were terrific.
Well, you know, and something that is oftentimes missed is, I guess I'd call it, you know, the staging. The colors in the background are these amazing, you know, purples and greens and oranges and reds. So, and I guess you'd call that staging, right? Because it isn't cinematography. You know, it's the set, wherever they're working in. They've got some, okay, so what have you got here?
This is my message to all you kids out there. It says so on my coffee cup. Yep. It says, I was a Trekkie before it was cool, not to mention before you were born. I got that on you, Page Master, I'll tell you.
Yep.
I might not know Picard's favorite tea, but...
But you've been a Trekkie longer than probably all of us. I dare
longer
say.
Than all of you put together, probably.
Yeah,
I was, you know, pretty much an adult when that got off the ground.
Yeah, I was negative age at that point, because it was 65 to 68, right?
Yeah, give or take, I think.
Yeah, and I was born at the end of 68, so yeah, I missed you know, the original.
Yeah.
But I remember very, very well growing up, coming home from grade school, and Star Trek was on for 2 hours, every single day from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. And so I would watch 2 episodes a day for that went on for years, right? Years. And so, that stuff really, really burns into the brain because I was so young, and it just burned right in. So yeah, I definitely like the original by far, right?
Well,
Way,
I
way,
thought
way.
the stories had something to say. It wasn't just one special effect after another, like
Yeah.
the more recent Star Treks are. They're just one CGI effect on top of another CGI effect. And I thought, and I love them. I mean, I've got them and I watch them and I think that's fine. But
Well, I mean, fundamentally, what we're watching is a play,
yeah,
and
that's right.
I mean,
Hey,
we watch.
check out Carolina Sky. He says he still gets carded when he buys liquor or beer. Well, I'll tell you, Carolina, I get carded too, but not because they don't think I'm 21. They want to find out if I qualify for the AARP discount. That's the only thing I ever get carded for.
That's funny. And actually, I think it's Page Master that gets carded.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Oh, he's answering Carolina Sky. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, PM, I'll tell you, I get carded, but different reason from you.
Yeah, I don't get carded because I don't buy anything like that.
Oh, a good guy. Okay, Mr. Clean.
Mr. Clean in himself. Yeah.
Always save a lot of money if you don't drink. It's expensive.
The funny thing is, I don't know how it is in other places, but at the market that I shop at, the alcohol area, which is a big area, right? It's got wine and beer and all the hard things, right? Is right in front of. It's right in front of the pharmacy. I just think that's really, really weird. Really, really weird. But yeah.
Yeah, PM's right about that. The original Star Trek was made during the, Mad Dillon Cowboy. And by the way, I love Gunsmoke, but it was made during the shoot 'em up action series type stuff on TV, and they canceled it because it was considered too cerebral.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, I, like many of the original viewers, really did the letter writing campaign and all that to get them to do it again. And then eventually, they bit the bullet. Next Gen came along, and then the rest is history. It was a tremendous series when you add it all up. Well, I don't mean to preempt you here, but I had to say something to PM about getting carded.
Yeah.
You think that's funny, but it's really true.
It's true.
The first time I got carded, I thought, what is wrong with that guy? There's no way I look like I'm under 21. And then I realized, then when he went on, he wanted to see if I qualified for the AARP discount. I thought, well, I suppose that's something,
Definitely something. So yeah. I when TNG came out, I was pretty disappointed. It just yeah. I mean, I suppose I had some kind of expectations, and so yeah, I was just sort of there was just something weird. And I think that first season, I think all the actors and actresses were probably trying to get into their parts too. Yeah.
I think so too.
Because everybody was really kind of stiff and you know, really, really obviously just saying lines.
Yeah, I
Um,
agree completely.
yeah,
But as a sort of actress myself, I
yeah,
understand that when you take on a new role, it takes a while to get into it.
it does. It does. I mean, I've never done that kind of thing exactly, but but yeah, I mean, that just sort of makes sense.
I mean, you
And then,
must see that in your fellow musicians. Don't you ever have a new musician who plays with you and they're a little stiff?
oh yeah,
First
absolutely.
performances are, you know,
Oh yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
they can't really
There have been a
relax
lot of
and
those.
jam. They can't do it.
Yeah, yeah. And I remember, when I was a new member of a band, exactly the same thing. It's like, everything I play just sounds absolutely horrible, all right? Because it probably was. So, okay, yeah, Uncle Bill is saying he's confirming my observation. Um, yeah, that's sort of a weird. I think that's sort of a weird place for
No,
that.
not really. Some people use alcohol for medicinal purposes.
Yeah, yeah,
Maybe they figure you're going to buy the hard stuff to clean out wounds.
yeah. Who knows? Who knows? So cheers. All right. So hey, so last night I went out when it got pretty dark and checked on the location of that asteroid I'm going to be looking at, and it turns out that it's actually it's going to be in like almost a perfect place in the sky. It's going to be low in my southwest, and I'm going to be able to see it. I'm going to lock onto it as close to 8:30 p.m. local time that I possibly can, and then I'll have about an hour or so on it. So yeah, I think it's going to be interesting. It looks like it's going to be clear. Can't be absolutely sure yet. We're still, what here today is only. I think today's Wednesday here.
Yeah,
Um,
Wednesday here too.
yeah, so this isn't happening until Sunday night local time. So I've got like four more days to sort of worry about um, the weather. Um, yeah, I'm. This is a test of the system that I've actually wanted to do, um, and now I'm not going to be able to track it or anything else. The only thing I'm going to be able to do is just take as many exposures as I can, and just manually move that thing around, to keep the asteroid um, as close to the center as I possibly can. So yeah, I'll be looking at the data. Um, it's a really interesting asteroid in that it has a very, very noticeable light curve, which means it's got maybe like some kind of oblong shape to it. So and in addition to that, it's been found to have a moon. So this asteroid has a little moon around it, going around it. I think the asteroid itself rotates every. I think I read it was like 2.9 hours or 2.3 hours or 9.2 hours or something like that. So I'll be able to catch it for about an hour or so. It's really really low, even as it's getting dark. It's pretty low. It's like 25 degrees above the horizon, so it's really 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 low. And so yeah, I mean, I'm not going to be able to catch it even for an hour, but I'll be able to catch it enough that I should be able to get a light curve and actually see the brightness changing a little bit due to the rotation. Should be able to see that, um, and the challenge is going to be tracking it because it's going to be moving at about 3/4 of an arc second per second. So, so if I were, to do like a 5-second exposure, I would actually get a streak because it's moving so fast.
And you don't have any tracking software? Carolina brought that up.
Yeah, I don't have any, and but that's okay. I've got some good tracking software hidden away in this head, and
Yeah, good place to keep it. There we are.
and somehow I find it, and I run it, and it works really well. So yeah, that's why that's one of the reasons why I want to try to get this target, is because it's going to be a challenge. So and I want to see what my capabilities are in terms of being able to track it, and I want to see how good the data is. It's actually passing closest to the Earth about a day before I'm going to be observing it, and it passes somewhere around like 2 or 3 million miles away. So I mean, it's not really close, but it's pretty close. It's got a diameter of about 1.4 kilometers, so it's pretty big. And at that distance, the magnitude is supposed to be about 12 and a half, which is creeping towards where my system is, beginning to not really perform exceptionally well. It still works really well, but 12 and a half is a little faint. I'm really good down to about 11th or 12th, but 12 and a half is a little faint. So I'm not going to be able to do things as well as I would want to. But so yeah, so I'm hoping to get photometric measurements and test my abilities to track a space rock that is moving fast. So we'll see. Like I said, right now, I scoped it out yesterday. So I've got a nice clear view at least for 45 minutes, I'd say. So now, yeah, it just has to be clear and not very windy. I found out, that I can actually handle a little bit of wind, a little bit. So yeah, so we'll see how that goes. So cheer. Yeah, I saw Carolina Sky Astronomy's video too of some kind of object passing in front of the moon, and it's yeah, it's a little unusual looking. Seems to be maybe rotating, or not rotating, but I don't know what you'd call that, wobbling. So well, I can if you want. Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I can really play it all that well. And you have to remember, I'm dealing with a half-baked potato here. So, but let me see if I can pull it up, and we can, we can try. I don't necessarily have to play it either. I can just sort of go through some of the, make it like some still images, right? So let's see. I'm slowly pulling it up here. Going down, going down, going down. There it is. So, okay, so here, well, let's just try it. I'm going to share my screen. Share. By the way, Bobby did mention post live stream yesterday that he may not be here today, so that's why he is not present and accounted for. He was I forget what he was up to, some kind of radio thing, I think, of some sort. So he's off doing radio things. I think he said he might check in late. So, okay, well, here's Carolina Sky Astronomy's video. And I don't know if there's anything in particular that you want us to see, but, the end part, where you're actually, showing it here in sort of, one frame. And that's not going to show up really, really well, I don't think, on my feed. The 1080. How long it takes to load a 1080. So yeah, it was moving from the top of the moon to the bottom of the moon, moved really fast. I don't know how many frames you actually got with that, Carolina Sky.
Carolina probably thinks it's the UFO he was chasing one time.
Yeah. Well, at this point, at least by definition, it's a UFO.
Yeah, it's an unidentified flying object.
Yeah, it's definitely flying. So yeah, one of the thing, and I mean, this is sort of, I don't know if this is useful or not, but you could measure the angular velocity of it, and see if it's constant, see if it changes. The diameter of the moon, so what angle the moon subtends in the sky, and if you've got 10 images of this object going across the face of the moon, that's 30 arc minutes in 10 seconds, or 3 arc minutes per second. So that kind of thing. I don't know if that's if that would be useful information or not. And actually, the word I was looking for was tumbling, right? Looks like it was just tumbling up there. So yeah, the fact that you're resolving it tells me that it's either relatively small and nearby, or really, really, really big and far away. And I would almost think maybe it's the former of those, right? Something relatively small.
Creepy.
Yeah, Carolina, you'll have to make some measurements though, because looks can be incredibly deceiving. It's really, really hard, and we get so easily confused that if we put just put a ruler on it, then you'll be able to actually see, assuming, right? This assumes that the video camera was running at a constant rate too. So, I don't know how accurate video cameras are, but they could account for something, looking like it's speeding up and slowing down, speeding up, slowing down.
Personally, I'm with Stephen Hawking. I don't want any close encounters of the third kind. Thank you very much. I'll live without that. If the guys have an interstellar engine that'll get them here, and they're that technically advanced, they didn't get to the top of the food chain by being nice. Neither did we.
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't want to run into them.
Yeah. Huh.
I'm with Hawking. No, thank you. Not yet.
Yeah.
A couple thousand years from now, maybe, but not now.
And, maybe they know that and are like, okay, we're not going to interfere.
Good. I hope that's exactly how they feel.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's always lots of talk about, these kinds of things. But yeah, it's well,
I'm with the Independence Day crowd, not the ET crowd,
Okay. Yeah, I don't know because I mean, we think that in order to get to where they are, I mean, being able to travel between stars, at least, is a really, really, really big deal. And I don't know what that kind of society looks like at all. I mean, I don't think that they could be very destructive, but maybe they could.
You don't know. And it may be a society that we couldn't even understand. It might be outside our current mental framework to understand. It's like a lot of the things that we know are true in mathematics. There are multiple dimensions in mathematics. Time is a variable. I mean, that. That's as dead certain as you can get in science, which is never 100%. But can you actually picture some of this stuff? No, you can't. I mean, I don't know about you, but I can't picture a fourth dimension. I cannot picture time as a variable. Because I live inside a constant time frame. I know it's a variable. I know that. As sure as I know this, that I'm going to see the sun tomorrow, maybe. But, you can't get your head actually around that. You can't get a mental picture of it because it is so outside your experience and possibly outside your mental capacity to image it.
I would say, in response to that if you're a mathematician, or at least a theoretical physicist or some kind of theoretical person of some sort, you actually do have a pretty good sense of what those kinds of things are like, and you can describe it mathematically, but you can't point to it but I mean, what you can do, though, right, is you can take those understandings and try to build a model that matches or predicts some kind of observation.
Yeah, and our senses, we've got 5 of them, and everything we've discovered comes from extensions of these senses. We've extended them with instruments. things like that. Now, I know you don't like Neil Tyson, but he answered a question, I thought, in a very innovative way. You know, the question was, if you had a close encounter of the third kind and you could only ask one question of that individual, what would that one question be? And I was very impressed with his question. He said, I would ask them how many senses they had. See, most of us are asking, do you believe in God or all this stuff? You know, oh no. He said, I would ask them how many senses they had. Because if you think about it, how many senses you have, the senses you have determine everything you know. They do. They determine everything you know.
Yeah.
And if you got one I don't have, you're going to be able to know some stuff I don't know, and maybe don't even have the capacity to know.
Interesting. Yeah, that's an interesting response. And yeah,
I mean, I got to give him credit for that one. You know,
yeah.
I thought that was a good question.
No, I think, you know, I mean, my gripe with Neil deGrasse Tyson is that he all too often thinks that he has to put on like a clown suit and be, you know, very entertaining.
Yeah,
where
he tries to be a showman, and he shouldn't.
He shouldn't, because he is giving us a bad name. He really is, in that sense.
He is a fine, bright guy, but I couldn't agree more with you about this showman thing.
That's the only thing that I really don't like, because I've seen one or two talks that he's given, and
he always tries to be cute and have the smart answers, you know.
Yeah. But no, you know, when you get him in sort of a serious, you know, he's just him. He's great. He's really great. And I wish that he would do that more.
Yeah, I agree.
Because
I agree.
Because you know, well, he's probably being told a little bit, you know, to do that, probably. But I mean, that's probably him. You know, that's probably him.
He's been egotistical since he was a kid. I mean, he likes to put on a show for people. He was like that when he was 15.
Yeah.
Knew him back then.
He's just not very good at it. That's all.
No, yes. But you know, it's like that. The way you see the world is the senses you've got. I'm reading the chat here.
Yeah, and you know, that's absolutely true. I mean, we know how just intensely limited our senses are. You know, the ones that we have.
I mean, Carolina doesn't care about that. He wants to meet him face to face. This guy has balls. I mean, I would not want to do that. It would scare the crap out of me.
Yeah.
For one of these, you don't know what that person's going to do. You don't know what you look like to that thing, or
you. I mean, yeah, you just have to you decide, you know, somehow come to terms with the idea that you're probably done for.
I mean, you know, this person might see me as an amoeba, for God's sake. I mean, they may not see me as a sentient, civilized being. Of course, come to think of it, there are a lot of people who know me who do not see me as a...
Look, they may not see us at all.
Oh, that's right. But, you know,
right? I mean, it depends on, like you said, right? I mean, it depends on, you know, their senses. So,
but all my message is to Carolina, I wouldn't be chasing any UFOs, I'll tell you that. And I better count yourself among the lucky that you didn't catch it.
Yeah. Well, Yeah, so I would say definitely, for what it's worth, see if you can measure the angular velocity of that thing,
Yeah.
and see if it's changing there at all. It does look like it was tumbling, so it kind of be interesting. You might be able to get some kind of light curve with it. So you might try that. Um, yeah, these things are interesting, and like I said, I mean, uh, because it was resolved, because you could actually see something, it just wasn't a point. Um, that has got to be something relatively small and relatively close, or pretty far and pretty big. So, oh, now Ata, you watched that horrible movie?
Yeah.
Oh,
That was great. I loved it.
now please, I oh no, oh no,
The bugs and the stuff, you know. See,
please
you didn't do
tell
drugs in the 60s. I did a
tell
lot
me
of drugs in the 60s.
tell tell me tell me that you read the book.
Oh, of course.
So how can you possibly like that movie? How is
Well,
that
I
possible?
realize, like most movies, it doesn't exactly represent the book. I get that, but still, I thought it was just cool. You had to suspend disbelief and just go into fantasy land. I can do that
Yeah,
easily.
I and of course this is just um, my opinion, of course, but I I think that they took one thing out of that book, and that was bug hunting,
Yeah, that's
and
all.
made it the entire movie.
That's exactly right. That's
And
exactly what they did.
that book is so much better than that.
Of
It's just,
course.
I mean, the bug hunting is almost not really even important, right? It's sort of a back or a side story.
Yeah, I know.
So they, yeah, at least in my opinion, they completely destroyed that, because people are going to watch the movie and not read the book. Now it's really preachy, right? He was a preachy author, um, but chapter 8 is absolutely fantastic. I recommend everybody read chapter 8 of Starship Troopers by Robert Heinlein.
Mm.
Um, cool chapter. Really,
Heinlein did a lot of drugs in the 60s too.
yeah, he probably did.
Every one of his books has these weird, you know, creatures. We saw those, you know.
Well, they got to come from somewhere, right?
Yeah,
So
that's right.
you're in a creative mode, so that's what happens.
That's a nice way to put it. Yeah.
All right. Well, cheers to creative modes.
Yeah. Well, I survived it at least.
Yeah, the book. Read that book.
It's
It's a really 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 awesome book. And okay, yeah, Philip K. Dick, absolutely. I haven't read as much of his things, but I think I definitely want to. Um,
you're right,
so
Bill.
so so yeah.
Uncle Bill made a good point there. The producers made it into a statement about fascism, and the book was not.
Right.
He's
Oh yeah.
oh, absolutely, he's right.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. It was, you
But
know,
I focused on a character. The reason I liked the movie, I focused on a character in the movie who was largely fantasy, of course, but
right.
I focused on Izzy. Not that wasn't the lead female in the movie. This was the redhead.
Oh,
And
okay.
she was tough. She took on her DI. She was a fighter. I mean, you know, she ended up getting killed, of course, because our hero couldn't have two girlfriends.
Absolutely not.
I mean, I liked her. I thought she was cool. She is
Huh.
what I imagined I would have been in that circumstance.
Hmm.
I mean, and believe me, that's imagination. What are you looking at?
Oh, I'm trying to find my copy of Starship Troopers, and
I didn't know that, Astrolife. Astrolife said the director of Starship Troopers was the same director of RoboCop.
huh, interesting.
I did
Interesting.
not know that.
He really yeah, I don't think I've ever seen RoboCop. I'm not much of a movie watcher, so I mean, I can play that card. I don't really watch that many, but yeah, that's kind of interesting. I guess RoboCop was first, right? Is that right? Yeah.
I don't know.
I think RoboCop was back in the 80s, and Starship Troopers was in I think the aughts, right? Um, okay. I don't. Yeah, I watched the movie Starship Troopers once. It was
You got sick.
I couldn't. I was so well. I'd read the book first, and so I was a little bit hyped up about it. It's like, oh man, this is going to be really really interesting, and it was yeah,
It was just
not
a gory action flick.
yeah, it was a bug hunt. It was a bug
Gory
hunt.
action flick.
Yeah. Okay, so RoboCop 87, Starship Troopers 97. So okay, cool. Cool. You guys are on top of things for sure.
Pagemaster remembers everything. It's his superpower.
Remembers everything.
He
Yeah.
does.
That's great. All right. Well, it's getting to the top of the hour, and I know that some of us turn into pumpkins at the top of the hour, and I hear my at least one of my doggy alarms. So I don't know what is going on with them, but yeah, Chuck, definitely um, read it, get the audio book, whatever you want. Highly, highly, highly recommended. Highline in general is one of those great authors. Although I've got one of his books are called Grumbles from the Grave, and it's a autobiography that he wrote, and one of the things that he says in this thing, point blank, is that he is writing for dollars. He is counting words, and yeah, he is completely writing just to get paid. That's it. And
Jeez. At least
yeah,
he's honest,
he's honest, but it's sort of unbelievable, right? Because I mean, he is one of the greatest writers of all time.
He is. And he was writing just to get paid? Boy.
Yep. He counted every word he said,
Jeez.
or letter. I'm not sure if he gets paid by the letter or by the word. I forget. I think it's by the letter.
Oh God.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's amazing.
And just churning them out, right? He's got a contract to write 5 books, and so he just bangs them out.
But they all have bad bugs in them. Or some kind of, creepy, crawly exoskeleton thing.
Yeah. Well, he's sort of all over the place, though. Like Tunnel in the Sky, that's a pretty good one. What's the I'm forgetting all my authors now. There was one, have spacesuit will travel. Isn't that Heinlein?
I don't know. I never read that book, if it is.
That's, yeah. I think that's a Heinlein. Have spacesuit will travel. That's a pretty interesting one. I'm going to look that up really quick, and then I think I'm going to let everybody go. So, have spacesuit will travel. Heinlein, yeah.
Okay.
That is Heinlein. Okay. We should. I wonder if I can. I don't know if I. Yeah, I probably shouldn't do what I'm doing now, and that is going to his list of books. Yeah, let's save that for another day, because for sure Heinlein is absolutely awesome. You should just read all of his. All of them are really, really great. At least all the ones I've read have been really, really, really great. So, all right, let's get out of here for now before Atta turns into a pumpkin. And I don't know what I'll turn into, but yeah.
Oh, man, I swear. Okay, you guys, don't forget thumbs up and stuff like that.
Thumbs up. Have a great evening, a great day. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't. Ring the little bell thing there, and spread the word. We're just talking astronomy and space and science and all kinds of nerdy things. So come on in anytime you want. 2 hours UTC, and yeah, let's get out of here. Live long and prosper.
Bye, guys.
See you later, everybody. Bye.